Glenn was 34 years old, and if you asked him, he'd tell you he was fine. Not great, not terrible, just fine. He worked at a mid-level marketing firm, sitting in a gray cubicle under fluorescent lights that hummed just loud enough to be annoying. Every morning, he'd wake up at 6:30 a.m., hit snooze twice, drag himself out of bed, and go through the motions. Coffee. Shower. Commute. Work. Lunch at his desk. More work. Commute. Dinner in front of the TV. Sleep. Repeat. Glenn had dreams once. He wanted to start his own business, travel the world, write a book. He had notebooks filled with ideas and possibilities. But life happened. Bills piled up. Responsibilities grew. Those dreams got tucked away, buried under years of maybe someday, and when the time is right. Glenn wasn't living. He was existing, going through the motions, telling himself this was just how life worked for regular people like him. Glenn sat at his desk, staring at his computer screen when his boss walked by. Conference room at 5. Quarterly review. His stomach tightened. As he stood up, something caught his eye. An old business card partially buried under reports. He picked it up. Marcus Chun, entrepreneur and business coach. Ready to build your dream? Glenn remembered meeting Marcus at a networking event 6 months ago. Marcus talked about helping people start businesses, about taking the leap. Glenn had been excited for a moment, but fear crept in. What if it fails? What if I'm not good enough? What if I lose everything? So he'd taken the card, thanked Marcus politely, and shoved it in his desk where it had sat ever since, gathering dust along with his dreams. Glenn stared at the card, then put it down and walked to the conference room. The meeting was exactly as expected. His boss droned on about metrics and performance. Glenn nodded at the right times, feeling numbness spread through his chest. Then his boss said something that made Glenn's blood run cold. "You're doing acceptable work, Glenn. Not outstanding, but acceptable. You're dependable, predictable, and in 5 years, if you keep at it, you might make a senior associate." 5 years. Senior associate. More of the same, just with a slightly better title. Something cracked inside Glenn. A tiny fissure in the wall he'd built around his dreams. Through that crack, a question emerged. Is this really all there is? He thought about his life, really thought about it. He was trading his time, his energy, his one precious life for acceptable and predictable. The meeting ended. Glenn walked back to his desk in a daze. There it was again, that business card staring up at him like a challenge. At that moment, Glenn realized something profound. He was terrified, but he was more scared of looking back in 20 years and realizing he'd never even tried. Glenn picked up his phone. He found Marcus's number. His thumb hovered over the call button. Every excuse flooded his mind. What will people think? I'm not ready. I don't have enough savings. What if I fail? This is crazy. I should wait until next year. 5 seconds. That's all it took. 5 seconds between the person Glenn was and the person he could become. 5 seconds. Glenn had a choice. He could put the phone down, play it safe, stay comfortable, keep existing instead of living. Or he could press that button. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. He pressed the call. That single 5-second choice changed everything. The call led to a meeting. The meeting led to a plan. The plan led to action. Glenn started working on his business in the evenings and weekends, learning, growing, building something that was his. It wasn't easy. There were late nights, moments of doubt, setbacks and failures. But something was different. Glenn was awake. He was alive. He was terrified and excited and exhausted and energized all at once. Most importantly, he was moving forward. 6 months later, Glenn quit his job. His coworkers thought he was crazy. His family worried. But Glenn had discovered something powerful. The person on the other side of fear is the person you're meant to be. His business started small, a few clients, modest success. Then more clients, better results. Within a year, Glenn was earning more than he ever had at his corporate job. But more than that, he was fulfilled. He was creating, contributing, living on his terms. That 5-second choice didn't just change Glenn's career. Changed everything. He started traveling, checking off bucket list destinations. He began writing that book. He reconnected with old friends who shared his passion for growth. Glenn became someone who said yes to opportunities instead of hiding from them. Someone who took calculated risks instead of letting fear make all his decisions. Glenn wasn't special. He didn't have secret advantages or extraordinary talents. He was just a regular person who made one choice. One 5-second choice. The gap between the life you're living and the life you want isn't as big as you think. It's not about massive transformations or perfect circumstances. It's about 5 seconds of courage. 5 seconds to send that email. Make that call. Start that project. Have that conversation. Take that first step. We spend so much time overthinking, overplanning, waiting for the perfect moment. But the perfect moment doesn't exist. There will always be reasons to wait, always fear, always doubt. The difference between people who live their dreams and people who just dream is 5 seconds of courage. What's your 5-second choice? What dream have you tucked away? What call do you need to make? What business do you need to start? What conversation do you need to have? What's stopping you isn't lack of time, resources, or knowledge. What's stopping you is those 5 seconds between where you are and where you want to be. You don't need all the answers. You don't need everything figured out. You just need 5 seconds of courage to start. After those 5 seconds, momentum builds. One action leads to another. One small step leads to a journey. That 5-second choice compounds over time, creating a completely different life. Think about Glenn at his desk, holding that business card. If he had put his phone down, waited for the right time, let fear win, where would he be today? Probably in that same cubicle, still telling himself, someday. But he didn't wait. He took 5 seconds of courage. And those 5 seconds changed his entire life trajectory. Your life can change today, right now, in the next 5 seconds. Not because of magic or divine intervention, but because you decide to act despite the fear. Because you choose courage over comfort. Because you're willing to take that first step, even when you can't see the whole staircase. Glenn's story isn't about being fearless. It's about being afraid and making the choice anyway. It's about recognizing that regret is more painful than failure. It's about understanding that the life you want is waiting on the other side of a 5-second decision. So what's it going to be? Are you going to wait for the perfect moment? Or are you going to take your 5 seconds? The choice is yours. It's always been yours. And it only takes 5 seconds. Your time starts now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.